Jai Shri Ram. The occurrence of the word yogaha in the Bhagavad Gita. So we are now researching that, and it occurs in 9 places. Okay, in 9 slokas. That is, the first one is 2.48. Yogastah kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjayah सिद्ध्य सिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam yoga uchyate. That's an important phrase. Please memorize that. Write it somewhere. Samatvam yoga uchyate. So word by word meaning yogastha. That means one who is steadfast in yoga. Kuru, perform karmani, duties, sangam, attachment, tyaktva, having abandoned all attachment. Dhananjaya, Arjuna. That means you and me. We can earn dhan, great wealth of all kinds. Siddhya asiddhyo, in success or failure. Sama, equipoised, and bhutva, becoming samatvam, equanimity. Yoga uchyate is called. So Krishna is advising all of us, not just Arjuna. Arjuna represents the man. Arjuna is representation. He represents the universal man. Be steadfast in the performance of your duty, O Arjuna, abandoning attachment to success and failure. Don't let that success or failure bother you. Keep working, constantly learn. Remember the Kaizen, Japanese concept, constant improvement, little by little. Little improvements every time, and then that is how you will achieve the peak of excellence. Such equanimity. Don't be disturbed by failures. Don't get overjoyed by success. That is called yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. So you should be able to accept all situations calmly, with serenity, and that is called yoga. Union with Krishna. Look at Krishna. If you study the Mahabharatam, Harivamsham, Bhagavatam, and Vishnu Purana. To understand Krishna, there are 4 books, 4 granthas. One is Harivamsham. Harivamsham is the sequel, or sort of the appendix, the supplementary material attached at the end of Mahabharata. So the book's appendix, Mahabharata's appendix, is Harivamsha. Okay, so you must study Harivamsham, you must study Mahabharatam, you must study Bhagavatam and Vishnu Purana. At least minimum, because these 4, Krishna is mentioned in so many other granthas, in Upanishads and Puranas. So, but minimum you have to study these. Then you will know what is Krishna. Otherwise you will grope and you will unnecessarily get carried away by all kinds of nonsensical statements made by those people who, for some strange reason, are behaving like Kamsa and Shishupala. They hate Krishna. They are actually Vidvesha yogis. They are also yogis. Vidvesha yogi, hate yogi. And Bhaya yogi. Kamsa was a Bhaya yogi. He was scared all the time because of that oracle. He was worried that Krishna is going to come from God knows where and kill me. So he is constantly scared. That's why he was a Bhaya yogi. Shishupala was a Vidvesha yogi. Even today you will find many Vidvesha yogis moving around and talking rubbish about Krishna. No problem. You must do Namaste. So we do the effort, and we must be concerned only about doing our duty. Results are for the pleasure of Krishna. So we have already dedicated everything to Krishna, and if the results are not to our expectations, we calmly accept them as the will of Krishna. So that's the beauty, isn't it? See, for example, in life, these vicissitudes are natural. Vicissitudes. Vicissitude means vagary. Vagary. Vagaries is the plural. Sudden ups and downs. These are natural. If you are, let us say, sailing in the sea, in a boat, it is natural. The waves of the sea will shake the boat, rock the boat. And if you get disturbed every time the wave rocks the boat, then you have no idea of what is reality, and your misery will be endless. So, if you want the ocean or the sea to be calm without any waves, sometimes it is like that, but then the waves will start rocking. So, if you expect the ocean to be something other than its natural self, then we are being foolish. Waves are an inseparable phenomena of the ocean. Similarly, as we wade through the ocean of life, it will throw up all kinds of waves that are beyond our control. These vicissitudes and vagaries are natural. So don't try to eliminate these negative situations. You will not be able to eliminate them. You cannot. So learn to accept everything that comes your way without sacrificing your best efforts, because we have already surrendered our will to Krishna, because Krishna directly told us, 1866, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shuchaha. So you are a prapanna. We are all prapannas. That's why you are listening. If you are spending so much time and listening to me, you are already a prapanna. Prapanna. Prapanna means one who has already surrendered to Krishna. 1866. Read that sloka several times, memorize it. 1866. Now let's continue our journey, discovering where all the word yoga occurs. So yoga next occurs in 250. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukruta dushkrute tasmad yogaya yujjasva. Yoga karma sukhaushalam. Please underline. Please make a note. Next important phrase. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Buddhi yukta, endowed with wisdom. Jahati, get rid of. Iha, in this life. Ubhe, both. Sukruta dishkrute, good and bad deeds. Tasmat, therefore, yogaya, for yoga. Yujjasva, strive for. Yogaha, yoga is. Yogaha means yoga is. Karmasu kaushalam, the art of working skillfully. So, if you prudently practice the science of yoga, karma yoga, without any attachment, and get rid of the attachment for good and bad reactions, that means don't get elated for something good, don't be depressed for something negative that happens. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of working skillfully in proper consciousness. That means you are working for Krishna, and nothing here is permanent, and so this is yoga karmasu kaushalam. That means whatever you do, try to be the best in that. That is yoga. What a wonderful definition. So, in this context, it is often relevant to mention that story which is very popular, A surgeon is there who is a great surgeon who has done lakhs of operations. So, he can conduct an operation, even the most difficult operation, very skillfully. But let us say some relative of his son or daughter, lands up on the operation table. The surgeon says, I can't do this operation. He cannot. Why? Because he is so attached, he is scared, and his performance decreases. He knows that. So, if he had been, studying Bhagavad Gita and living the Gita, he would have actually gone ahead. But the story says that the surgeon decided to withdraw because he knew that he was so attached, and because of his attachment to his son or daughter who is now on the operating table and requires an operation to be conducted on them, this man is so attached and he is worried and he is shaking, so he can't do the operation now. So this is how attachment will damage your ability to work at the highest level of skill, right? So continuously work without bothering about the result, and you will produce the best quality work. In fact, in sports also, sports psychologists all tell all their students to do what is called visualization, that they have already won it, they are already receiving the gold medal. Calm down, get into an alpha state, don't bother about the result, do your best. That is the state when you can actually do your best. If the result starts bothering you, then your performance will diminish. So you see the surgeon's story. So this surgeon is so good that he does so well, and sometimes a patient may die while being operated upon, but the surgeon does not feel guilty of any murder. And he knows that there's nothing he could have done. However, if the same surgeon's only child has to be operated, he does not have the courage because of the attachment to the results. He is scared that he will not be able to perform the operation skillfully, and therefore he will seek the help of another surgeon. See, attachment to results decreases our performance. Even if you are highly skilled, it will decrease your performance. So be careful. So in the entire Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna's example is very simple. Before the war, Arjuna was obsessed with the thinking that he is fighting this war in order to win it and win a kingdom and enjoy, and he was ranting and rambling that he cannot kill his gurus, and it's better to live by begging, and he can't eat raktapukudu, that is blood stained pleasures and food he can't eat. Later, after the whole Bhagavad Gita was over, Arjuna said, Nashto moha smritir labdha tvat prasadan mayachyuta sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. I will do what you have told me to do, and all my delusion is gone. Now he is actually fighting the war for Krishna. It is his duty he owes to Krishna. So now there is no problem. He is working, fighting at the highest level of skill, of which he is very much capable. So the internal motivation has changed. He is not doing it for any selfish personal purpose. He is doing it for Krishna, and he wants to give his best. That's exactly what we all have to do. So the next shloka in which the word yogaha occurs is 4.2, 4th chapter, 2nd. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Krishna says, parampara means a continuous tradition. So Krishna says, O Arjuna, many rajarshis have received this science of karma yoga, but with the long passage of time, it was lost to the world, and that is why now I am telling you, repeating it to you. And the next verse in which yogaha occurs is 4.3. Sayevayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hetad uttamam. So prokta means reveal, puratana is ancient, okay. Sakha is friend, rahasyam, secret, uttamam, supreme. So the same ancient knowledge of yoga, which is the supreme secret, I am now revealing to you because you are my friend as well as my devotee, who can understand this transcendental wisdom. So please understand, Bhagavad Gita cannot be understood fully by a person who is trying to acquire some scholarship. You need to have devotion. You must study Bhagavad Gita with your heart and not just the mind. The mind is necessary, but more so with the heart. And remember, the best interpretation of the Bhagavad Gita is your own interpretation inspired by Krishna. So, to be a fit student of Krishna, you have to have some higher bhavas, sentiment. Bhava means sentiment. A sentiment is a refined emotion. Sentimental is a negative word. Some people are sentimental. That means quickly carried off by emotions. So, don't be sentimental, but understand that there are some sentiments which you have to cultivate. Higher bhava, not the lower bhavas. Shanta bhava, Shanta bhava. And when you adore Krishna as your king, your emperor, and you are calm, dasya bhava, the bhava of servitude, the sentiment of servitude toward Krishna, who is our master. Sakhya bhava, considering Krishna as our friend. Vatsalya bhava, considering Krishna as our child. And madhurya bhava, worshipping Krishna as our lover, soul beloved. So if you can do any one of this or all of this, then you have really become Arjuna, the fit student to receive Bhagavad Gita. So please don't forget, with a devotional heart, only with a devotional heart you can fully grasp the message of Bhagavad Gita. And all those people who have written commentaries on Gita, all those great scholars who lack bhakti, these interpretations are simply fodder, useless. They don't have the juice, no rasa. So all these commentaries written by Tom, Dick and Harry, I don't want to name them because there are many actually. These are useless commentaries. They are completely, in several ways inaccurate and incomplete, and you don't waste your time reading them. Study only those commentaries who have written by true devotees, Krishna Bhaktas. Now, the next shloka in which the word yoga occurs is 6th chapter 16. Krishna is giving some very simple and clear instructions about maintenance of the body also. Don't neglect the body. Many great thinkers neglected the body. Some suffered and some learned. नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोस्ति न चैकान्त मनश्नतः न चाति स्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन. नात्यश्नतस्तु, one who eats too much, ati is too much, ati sarvatra varjayet. The Shastra says ati sarvatra varjayet. Excess is prohibited, excess is taboo anywhere. Excess perhaps except perhaps the excess of being immersed in Krishna Bhakti. That is the exception. Okay. So Krishna is saying, oh Arjuna, those who eat too much or eat too little, sleep too much or too little, cannot attain success in yoga. So Krishna is giving simple instructions. Please take care of the body also. Never go to any extreme. Don't treat the body shabbily. Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. See, the Shastras say, after all, the body is the vehicle for engaging in dharmic activity. Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. So if your body is unwell and if you are not feeding it, you are starving yourself, then how can you undertake any dharmic activities at all? If the body is feeble body will enfeeble the mind. You should be strong like Bhima, like Hanuman. Take care of the body. Don't overdo anything. Don't overeat. Then dharma or spiritual pursuits cannot be undertaken. And even in the Ramayana, you see, Tanu, Binu, Bhajan, Ved, Nahi, Varna. So, it is not possible. The Vedas do not recommend that we ignore the body while engaging in spirituality. So, even in the Ishopanishad, Ishavasya Upanishad, which goes like this, you must have heard. Ishavashamidam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyan jagat tena tyaktena bhunjida magradha kasya sviddhanam. Magradha kasya sviddhanam. And tena tyaktena bhunjida. Now, tena tyaktena bhunjida. If you look at this phrase, please make a note. Ishavasya midam sarvam. That means Krishna pervades, he permeates, he is there in the nanoparticle. He is both immanent and transcendent. IMMANENT. Immanent means within everything. Transcendent means beyond everything. He is within and beyond. So, Ishavasya midam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyan jagat tena tyaktena bhunjida. Enjoy with detachment. Everything belongs to Krishna. And He is within and without. He is within everything and beyond everything. Simultaneously. Okay. Tena tyaktena bhunjida means enjoy with detachment. Some people may interpret it differently, but this is my understanding. So see, Krishna has given us all this, the body and so many senses according to our own prarabdha. Now, these senses are very simple and very interesting. You see, if you eat certain kinds of stuff, you will get food poisoning and you will vomit and you will suffer and you will have difficulties. But certain types of food are very tasty, you can enjoy. So, what you should eat is what you should know. Don't eat anything and everything. And sometimes what you eat may be tasty, but it will actually kill you or cause serious health problems later. Krishna has discussed that also. What types of pleasure. So, in the 18th chapter, you will have this discussion of what types of pleasure. Initially good and eventually dangerous. And the good ones or the sattvic enjoyments are initially tough, requiring effort, but eventually very good for you. So, tena tyaktena bhunjida, enjoy with detachment. Ma gridha kasya sviddhanam. Do not covet anyone's property. So this whole thing belongs to Krishna. So don't covet it. And also do not covet. Covet means to desire what others possess. Don't covet other people's property, other people's wives like Ravana. And in the Ishopanishad, another verse comes like this. Andham tamah pravishanti ye vidyam upasate tato bhuya ivate tamoya vidyayam rataha. Andam tamah pravishanti ye avidyam upasate. Okay. Avidyam upasate. Tato bhuya ivate tamo ya u vidyayam rataha. See, this is translated, it means those who cultivate only material knowledge, material science go to hell, but those who cultivate only spiritual knowledge also go to even darker hell. So, which means there must be a balance. Material science and material knowledge is necessary for the maintenance of the body, while spiritual science is necessary for the manifestation of the internal divinity within us. We must balance these things. So, proper diet, proper regimen, Veda recommends that. See, the associate Veda of Atharva Veda is Ayurveda, which is a hoary science of medicine and good health. The seeds of Ayurveda are there in the Rig Veda also anyway. The very proof that Ayurveda exists within the Veda is sufficient for you to understand that the Veda lays emphasis on the maintenance of the physical body. Overeating, extremes are bad, or complete inactivity. All these are impediments to yoga. Take good care of your body, eat fresh, nutritious food, do minimum daily exercise, get the right amount of sleep. All these must be done. So, in the next shloka, which is even more very important, Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Please make a note. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Please note down. Please note down. Memorize this phrase. 6th chapter, 17th verse. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Yukta means moderate. In this context, yukta means tempered, moderate, balanced. Yuktahara, eating moderately. Viharasya, recreation, moderately. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Don't become a workaholic. Balanced in work. Become a workaholic. Nice word, huh? Worka, W-O-R-K-A-F-R-O-L-I-C. Frolic means to jump around happily like children do when they go to a park. So become a workaholic. Enjoy your work. Because if you love your work, then it is not work at all. Look at Krishna, how he lived his life. He enjoyed everything that he did. So become a workaholic, not a workaholic. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Krishna is clearly saying, don't become a workaholic. Yukta, moderately. Balance everything. Work-life balance. Yukta swapnava bodhasya. Balanced in sleep and wakefulness. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Yoga becomes the slayer of death. Slayer of sorrows. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Yoga becomes the slayer of all sorrow. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha means yoga slays sorrows. Very simple, see. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Please make a note. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Yoga destroys sorrow. Yoga slays sorrows. So, yoga is the union of Atma with Paramatma, that is Krishna. And so, if you enjoy, Krishna is already, Karshayanta Sharirastam. He said that also. So if you enjoy, Krishna enjoys. If you suffer, he also suffers. So make sure that you enjoy, but don't overdo it. Anything excess is neurotic and dangerous. It will backfire, and Krishna doesn't like it. So don't become a bhogi, because then you will become a rogi. From bhogi to rogi, the distance is very, very short. Be a yogi, not a bhogi, and finally the rogi. Look at many people, you see, by the time they are 40, the body is full of disease. They are not able to enjoy. In fact, they got this stupid body, they have damaged their own body in pursuit of pleasure. So, be a yogi. Don't become a bhogi, because then you will become a rogi. And once you have become a rogi, no more yoga is possible. You can't be a yogi, or at least it will take a lot of time and trouble. Because becoming fat is easy, and becoming thin is so difficult, In fact, gaining this fat also takes a lot of time, and getting rid of that fat. Look at these people, extremely fat, obese, corpulent fellows going to gyms and trying to get rid of that fat. And then they say it is thyroid and something like that. How did the thyroid, maybe there is a small percentage of people who are unfortunate and because of some imbalance physiological they become fat, but others have no control over their eating and other laziness, complacent, lying around, no activity. And as a result, you see, they acquire these huge bodies and then they have to pay heavily to get rid of that. They have to take pills. That's nonsense. See, so yogo bhavati dukkhaha and yuktahara. In the life of Gautam Buddha also, Buddha went to an extreme. Initially, Buddha gave up all eating, drinking, and he was doing dhyana. After a few days of this dhyana, he became very weak and his head started spinning. He could not meditate. Some village women, I believe, at that time who were passing by, they saw him and they started singing a song. And the words of the song in English would be, "Hey, tighten the strings of the tampura." Tampura, you know tampura? It is a stringed Indian instrument and it is a drone actually, background music, white noise or background music. Okay. So do not tighten the string so much that the string will break. So Buddha heard this and he said, "Oh my God, these village women have given me so much wisdom." So he stopped overdoing it. That is how Buddha learnt from the seemingly illiterate village woman. Okay? So temperance, temperance, temperance is a virtue. Temperance is the English word which means moderation. Don't eat to excess. Don't drink too much. Now, we are not recommending alcohol. Alcohol is tamasic. So don't eat, overdo anything. Don't do anything to excess. Okay, what is the next verse in which you find the word yogaha? So the next verse in which you find yogaha is 6th chapter 23rd. Tam vidya dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga sanyitam sa nischayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. Vidyat, you should know, dukkha samyoga viyogam, state of severance, separation from union with misery. Dukkha samyoga viyogam, cut off from misery, man. Yoga sanyitam is known as yoga. Nischayena, resolutely. Yoktavya should be practiced. Anirvinna chetasa, with an undeviating mind. So Krishna is saying, the state of severance from union with misery is known as yoga. See, another interesting phrase. Tam vidya dukkha samyoga viyoga yogam. Dukkha samyoga viyogam yogam. Dukkha samyoga viyogam yogam. Please make a note. Dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga. See, up till now, when you are not aware of this wisdom of Sri Krishna, we are attached to dukkham. Dukkha samyoga viyogam yogam. So, this severance from union with misery is called yoga. And this yoga should be resolutely practiced with determination which is free from all kinds of pessimistic thinking and cynicality. No cynicism. See, in this context, I am reminded of 8th chapter 15th verse. Krishna says, Dukkhalaya mashashvatam. He says, Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalaya mashashvatam. Napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramangataha. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalaya mashashvatam. Once you achieve me, then this world, this is a dukkhalaya mashashvatam. This world is an abode of misery and it is transient, ashashvatam, evanescent, ephemeral, fugitive, fugacious, momentary, transitory, transient, will not last long, ashvatha. Ashvatha means something that will not be the same tomorrow. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. 8:15. Mamupetya punarjanma. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Once you achieve me, you will not have to come back to this dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This is temporary and full of misery. Therefore, become a karma yogi. And then you also should enjoy with detachment. And remember nothing. You own nothing. You are only a possessor. There is no ownership here. So, Chaitanya also says something very nicely in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. He says, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hai andhakara. Yaha Krishna taha nahi Maya radhikara. So, jaha Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hai andhakara. यहाँ कृष्ण तहाँ नहीं माया रा अधिकारा. So जहाँ कृष्ण है वहाँ कोई अंधकार नहीं और वहाँ माया का अधिकार भी नहीं. वंडरफुल, इजंट इट? माया का अधिकार नहीं जहाँ कृष्ण है और वहाँ कोई अंधकार भी नहीं. दैट इज कृष्णा. सो worship Krishna, befriend Krishna. He is our old eternal friend. Don't waste your time going to petty shopkeepers. So now the next shloka where the word yoga occurs is 633. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna is saying, Yoyam yoga stvaya prokta samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthitim sthiram. Arjuna is saying, I am this yoga, tvaya, by you, prokta, described, samyena, equanimity. Madhusudana is the killer of the demon Madhu, Madhukaitaba and all that. Etasya, of this, aham, I, pashyami, see, chanchalatvat, due to restlessness, sthitim, situation, sthiram. Arjuna is actually lamenting and complaining, oh Madhusudana, this system of yoga which you are describing appears impractical and unattainable to me because my mind is totally chanchal, very restless. Arjuna is complaining. And he is correctly complaining because the mind is so restless. Somewhere else, which I think it is in 630, Chanchalam himana Krishna pramadi balavadrudam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. 630, just a minute. 630, I think. No, it is 634. That is the next verse, where Arjuna is actually lamenting. Chanchalam himana Krishna pramadi balavadrudam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Just restless, chanchalam. Mana is mind. Pramadi, turbulent, chaotic, totally chaotic. Chaos, total disorder, turbulent, agitated. Balavat, very adamant, very strong. Dridam, obstinate like a donkey. Tasyaham, it's aham, I. Nigraham, control. Manye, think. Vayoriva sudushkaram. It is like, it is very difficult. It appears to me it is more difficult to control than the wind. Controlling the mind is more difficult than trying to control the wind. Apt analogy. You cannot control the wind anyway. But this is even more difficult than controlling the wind. Perhaps someday we might be able to control the wind, but controlling the mind is impossible. And at this point, actually, Arjuna used the word Krishna. Chanchalam himana Krishna. And Adi Shankaracharya gave the definition of Krishna. In Shankara Bhashya, you will find 634. Adi Shankara defines Krishna as Bhaktajana Papadi Dosha Karshanat Krishna. Krishna means one who uproots, decimates, exterminates, annihilates, destroys completely. वेड़ तो पी के पारेस्ताडु, नामो निशान मिटा देगा. किस चीज का? भक्तजन पापादि दोष कर्षणात्. All the papas, all the sanchita, backlog, everything will be burnt. All that big truckload of karmas and the reactions waiting to affect you, Krishna will completely burn it. Because once you pull the plug from the world and plug into Krishna, it's all over. Plug and play. All the backlog is burnt. And what did Shankaracharya define Krishna as? Please make a note. Bhakta jana papa adi dosha karshanat Krishna. Karshanat means destroy. Papa and dosha. All your character, weaknesses, foibles, F-O-I-B-L-E. Foible means a minor weakness, a minor way, failing. Or vices, you may have many vices, V-I-C, vice. Even Dharmaraja had this vice. He loved gambling. So even Bhima had a vice, eating. He was a glutton. Arjuna had a vice. He was very arrogant. He thought that none can equal him in archery. Nakula had a vice. Nakula was so handsome, he thought he is more handsome than, none is as handsome as me. Sahadeva had a vice. He was so knowledgeable. He knew everything. He knew the future. So he was a great astrologer also. Krishna warns him actually, don't, because I am running this whole show, don't spoil my show. Most people don't know this. Sahadeva was so knowledgeable that he knew everything that's going to happen. So Krishna told him, see, if you tell anyone, your head will break into 1,000 pieces and you will die. So Sahadeva said, okay sir, I will never tell anybody anything. Sahadeva developed an interesting habit. Everyone knew that Sahadeva had all the knowledge. So Everyone perhaps also knew that Krishna warned him. But they would ask Sahadeva, and Sahadeva was a man of, dharma, so he cannot tell lies. So whenever a question used to be asked, he used to answer the question with another question. Answering a question with another question was Sahadeva's style. So if anybody asks anything, he would have answered it with another question. I don't want to give an example now. Answering a question with a question is the Sahadeva style of answering, which will force the other fellow to think. And actually the answer is embedded in that. If you can think, then you will understand what I am saying. Sahadeva was very smart. Interesting, isn't it? These are called esoterica. Esoterica. Esoterica means minor details which only a scholar will know. Of course, not that I am any great scholar. I am doing a lot of research because I want you to become the scholar. We should all do PhD in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So, Krishna was defined by Adi Shankaracharya, and of course, many other definitions are there for Krishna. Krishna plows the mind. Krishi, agriculture. Balrama and Krishna started agriculture. So, remember, agriculture originators are Krishna Balrama. Agriculture and animal husbandry, all that. Husbandry means agriculture. Husbandry means animal husbandry. See, the word husbandry, one meaning is agriculture. Husbanding means to utilize carefully and economically, to husband your resources. Animal husbandry, cattle rearing, and all that. So, no poultry farming, eating chicken and all that, that is sinful. Please don't do that. So, Krishna Balrama were the originators, pioneers of agriculture. Krishna means one who plows the mind, processes the mind. Sarvam karshati Krishna. He attracts everything. Karshati yoginam paramahamsanam chetansi iti Krishna. Karshati yoginam paramahamsanam chetansi iti Krishna. So he attracts. He attracts the mind of even the most powerful yogis and paramahamsas. So that is how Krishna is defined. So Krishna is Rishikesha. He is the master of senses. Rishikesha means a master of senses. We are unfortunately slaves of the senses. So if you want to control senses, who should you seek out? Krishna. So otherwise you will become a bigger slave of the senses. Other petty gods are there. They can't help you. It is Krishna. Karshati sarvam Krishna. Krishna plows and processes your mind. So please understand, Yoga Yukta basically means subduing the senses, giving up all selfish desire, focus on Krishna alone, think of Krishna with an unwavering mind, see Krishna in everyone, work for Krishna, be Krishna's agent and be bindas. Be D-G-A-G, D-E-G-A-G, D-G-A-G means bindas. D-G-A-G, D-E-G-A-G, insouciant. INSOUSCIANT, insouciant, nonchalant, 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 pococurante, POCOCURANTE, which means bindas. Even bindas has entered the English dictionary, which means carefree. Don't be bothered. Mast raho. Krishna is taking care of everything. So, but don't burden the work on Krishna by being careless also. And so, one more verse in which the word yoga occurs is, of course, yoga, so many other inflections of yoga occur in other. We are talking only about yoga. Asamyatatmano yogaha. Asamyatatmano yogo dushprapya itime matihi. Vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo vaptum upayataha. 636. Asamyatatmana. One whose mind is unbridled. Asamyatatmana. Unbridled mind. Belagam goda. Kallemleni gurram anamata. Asamyatatmana yogo. Dushprapya. Difficult to attain. If your mind is unbridled, then yoga is not possible for you. Forget it. Dushprapya itime mati. Vashyatmana tu yatata. Vashyatmana. One whose mind is controlled. Asamyatatmana. Unbridled. Mind is unbridled. Vashyatmana. One whose mind is bridled, controlled. Tu yatata shakyo vaptum upayataha. Yatata, one who strives. Shakyaha, possible. Avaptum, to achieve. Upayataha, by the right means. So, yoga is impossible, difficult for anyone whose mind is unbridled, uncontrolled. However, if you have learned to control your mind, then please strive earnestly, work sincerely, by the right means, proper means, and don't go to extremes. There are so many fools who are karshayanta sharirastam, who are undertaking stupid activities and rituals which are torturing me also in the body. Krishna is complaining. So perfection in yoga is not possible. And Krishna says very interestingly, this is my opinion. Shakyo vaptum upayataha. You see, Krishna says, me matihi, iti me matihi. See, Krishna very interestingly says, this is my opinion. And the Supreme Lord is saying, this is my opinion. Why does he say this is my, instead of giving a command? Because he respects your cognitive freedom. Because he doesn't want to force anything down your throat. No force here. Like in other desert cults, the god is a psychopath. He will tell you, if you don't follow, I will send you to eternal hell, I will kill you, I will torture you, you will be finished, you will go to eternal hell. Nothing like that here. Krishna respects your capacity to understand the truth independently without being forced. That's the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. Iti me matihi, idi na mati, idi na opinion हो. कृष्णा कह रहे हैं ये मेरा मत है, मतलब कि आपका मत अलग हो सकता है. अरे वाह, स्पिरिचुअल डेमोक्रेसी इज देयर ओनली इन सनातन धर्मा. इन अदर रिलीजन्स इट इज स्पिरिचुअल डिक्टेटरशिप, totalitarian government, completely despotic, oppressive, repressive, absolutely no freedom. You will be finished. God is constantly threatening. Psychopathic gods, they are always threatening because they are insecure. They are not gods. They are actually the alter egos of those people who actually wanted to control the rest of the world using fear. Religion that is based on fear is tamasic, asuric. Krishna doesn't indulge in any threats. No threatening. So in this shloka, Krishna is saying, if you have not bridled your mind through abhyasa vairagya, abhyasa is practice, vairagya is detachment, so you have to bridle the mind. Because in the next shloka, Krishna gives the answer to that. Arjuna says, na chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramadi balabadrudam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkuram. And how does Krishna answer that question? Krishna says, in 635, Krishna says, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Yes, asamshayam. Undoubtedly, O Mahabaho, mighty armed one. We are all mighty armed. Hello, you and I. Physically, mentally, psychologically, religiously, culturally, economically, politically, we are all Mahabahos. That means you must undertake self-actualization. Eliminate all distractions ruthlessly. Ruthlessly manage your time. Don't let anybody eat your time. Time is the most valuable resource we have, because lost time cannot be recovered. Wealth lost can be recovered. Health lost, very difficult to recover, takes time. Time lost, impossible, it's all over. So, oh Mahabaho, Krishna is telling you, hello, what's your name? My name is Muchimilli Krupa Shankar. What's your name? You who is listening to all this. You are also a Mahabaho. Krishna is calling you Mahabaho, mighty armed one. You should defeat the mind. Asamshayam Mahabaho, mano durnigraham chalam. Mana, mind, durnigraham, difficult to restrain. Chalam, restless. Abhyasena, by practice, little by little. Inch by inch life is a cinch, yard by yard life is hard. Shanai shanai ruparamed buddhya dhrutikrihitaya atma samstam manakritva nakinchidapi chintayet. Krishna said, shanai shanai ruparamed, little by little, again and again, catch it. If the dog is running away, if the animal, the mind is running away, catch it, bring it and tether it to the tree of Atma Jnana or Bhagavad Gita. Shanai shanai ruparmed buddhya dhrutikrihitaya atma samstam manakritva nakinchidapi. Don't bother about anything. Nakinchidapi chintayet. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena, by detachment. Grihyate, to be controlled. So Krishna did not reject or ridicule Arjuna when he said Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. He gave a very simple solution. The mind can be controlled easily. So just detach the mind. Like a tortoise also. Krishna gives the analogy in 2nd chapter 58. Yada samharate chayam kurmongani va sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyas tasya prajna pratishtita. Such a person is known as wise, who, when temptations and temptations. Now, let's not talk about danger now. Temptations. What is danger? The temptation is the danger. When lot of temptations are bombarding us, we are likely to be overwhelmed by a temptation. So I have a weakness for sweets. So when lot of sweets are put in front of me, I become like a tortoise because I am following Krishna's advice. Yada samharate chayam kurmongani va sarvashaha indriyan indriyarthebhyas tasya prajna pratishtita. Like a tortoise, withdraw your limbs. Withdraw your mind and senses within. The tortoise withdraws its head and limbs and waits for some time for the temptation to pass. Once the temptation passes, slowly the tortoise will come out. So also that is what Krishna said. Become like a tortoise. Okay? That does not mean you become very slow and lazy. Don't. It's easy to misinterpret Krishna also, isn't it? Because our minds are so capable and cunning. Vairagya Abhyas. Vairagya means detachment. Abhyas means practice. Practice makes a man perfect. But some fellow wrote the spelling, PRAKTISS, MAIKES, YE, mean, MEAN, PURFIKT. Practice makes a man perfect. So that means this fellow is indulging in the wrong practice and he has never learnt the correct spelling, but he is repeatedly practicing the wrong practice and therefore he can never become perfect. So practice does not, what is the saying? Practice makes a man perfect. No. The right kind of practice will make you perfect. The wrong kind of practice will make you more imperfect. So, Abhyasa Vairagyena, Tannirodha, Yoga Darshana, even in Yoga Sutras that is there. So the perturbations of the mind can be controlled by constant practice and detachment. So now I think we have completely discussed the occurrence of yoga in Bhagavad Gita. I will quickly list out. Yoga occurs 2.48, 2.50, 4.2, 4.3, 6.16, 6.17, 6.23, 6.33 and 6.36. Of course, other inflections of yoga occur elsewhere also. So I hope you made a note of all the important yoga karmasu kaushalam. Important phrases. Yogo bhavati dukkhaha. So these are phrases which you must remember. Jai Shri Ram.